Welcome back to Arcane Eye, everybody. Today we're playing some Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. I'm joined by Chris and Russ, and we have one less than last week, but
Hello.
Veronica will be joining us at some point. But without further ado, let's get into the recap. So last week, after helping the townspeople of Vogler in the Battle of High Hill, you interrogated a one of the mercenaries and found out that they were bribed to turn against Vogler's militia. So you rode out to see where this bribe took place in the woods nearby. While traveling to your destination, you stumbled across Veronica's character, who I'm forgetting the name of right now, but she will be back
Wow.
eventually. Val. And she joined your party because one of these strange hooded figures has stole one of her has had stolen a staff that was given to her by her grandmother, I believe. So eventually, you found the area that the meeting between the mercenary and this robed figure went down, and followed tracks back to what looked like a full out army base full of these robed draconic creatures. You killed a couple scouts, one of which had the staff of that Val was looking for, and then hightailed it back to Vogler to let everybody know that an army was camping on their doorstep. While you were discussing your plans for this incoming army, um, a figure or a scout showed up from the army, a liaison of sorts, and said that you had to open the gates to the army tonight, or that the town would be burnt to the ground. So I think that you guys have a couple, you have some plans in the works when it comes to what you're looking to do with this incoming force of hostile creatures. But one thing that came up was there's this Gnomeflinger on top of a fortress in the town. And currently there are scouts positioned up on the cliff wall, and they're keeping an eye on the town of Vogler. And the main thing that you're trying to achieve is cudgel the dwarf who is in charge of the mercenary troop that partly attacked the town, but those were all the bad guys, and now they're dead. So now the good guys are left. Cudgel's in charge of them, and she wants to get from the town where she is now to her mercenary troop so she can contact them, bring them back, and help you defend the city. Um, the scouts of the Dragon Army are positioned up on the cliff wall. Let's take a look at roll 20. So they're like chilling up here. Did that show up? No, it didn't. Did it show up now?
We know where they are. They're off to the side of the gate on the cliff.
Yes, they're off to the side of the cliff. Um, and your plan is to hop in the Gnomeflinger that's on top of Thornwall Keep, fling yourself over, and surprise these scouts so you can get the jump on them so Cudgel can get out of the town. You're
I mean, that's
currently,
my plan, at least.
yeah, that is the plan.
How keen Zandrian was.
You're currently in the Brass Crab, talking with the town's mayor. Cudgel is there, and then Than, the town's resident gnome tinker, who's the one that's maintaining the Gnomeflinger, has just walked in after hearing that you guys might be interested in using her machine. So, doors flung open. Than is standing there. She's a small elf, or gnome, wearing like filthy leather clothing. Soot all over her face, hair's wild, big glasses up on top of her head. And she says, "So I hear you're thinking of using my gnome flinger." And walks up, just like struts into the room, kind of like clears some space on the table that's in front of you, and rolls out the map that essentially is what we're looking at right now. And she's like, "So I'd have to recalibrate it if people of human size are going to be flinging themselves across. But I think that it might fling you far enough so that you don't crash into the side of the cliff wall. And just leaves it at
that
that.
answers my first question. What are the chances that we will get flung into a cliff face? Would you say?
She, scribbles down some notes on the side of her on the side of the map, and she says 15%.
Okay, so I feel like we may have a couple of other options here, as fun as catapulting ourselves.
She looks so disappointed.
Across. I just want to talk them through.
You can already see her face falling. She's just like, oh no.
So how high is the cliff?
Cliff wall. Let's see.
Is there actually an official height? I figured you just make something up.
I'm checking to see if they're actually.
I want someone to call you out in the comments. Oh,
on the cliffs, scaling the 30-foot tall cliffs.
30-foot tall cliff.
Okay.
I don't know if is there a height that it needs to be a cliff. I think that's not probably.
Well, this isn't a geography game. This is a D&D game.
Hey, tell that to the comments later.
That's not a cliff. It's a ledge.
So, I was thinking that there are a couple of options. The purpose of what we're trying to achieve is get Cudgel out of the town and to the mercenaries so they can be brought here, correct?
That is correct.
We are an oceanside town, or at least the lake or riverside town, that has many edges and many boats. It seems like leaving via the guarded gate isn't our only option for Cudgel, so I was going to throw that out there. Also, the idea of human-sized people being flung in the Gnomeflinger brought to mind the idea that we could always just Gnomefling Cudgel out of the city and towards the mercenaries, unless recalibration might be required. So yeah, I just wanted to say that there are some options. The other part of the gnome flinging is we'll sounds like we'll definitely be able to fling one person at a time. And I imagine that the element of surprise of the gnome flinger is mostly in the first person to be flung, which is why I asked about the height of the cliff, thinking that one person could be scaling the cliff as a distraction, so they're all like, oh, what the hell? And then another person's like, ah.
If you take a look at the Gnomeflinger, this is from the book. Let's see if I can I'm just gonna like throw it in the Roll20 for everyone to see.
Sounds good.
That looks like, like if we take that person's scale and the size of that canvas area, I'll say that two people can be flung at once.
Oh, okay.
So you don't need to worry about that. And then
it sounded like the weight was an issue. Like the gnome came in, was like, oh, there's a chance a human-sized person might just splat into the cliff.
Let's take another look at this really quick. This thing looks like a fucking beast. That can throw two people. Whatever it is, 30 feet.
You're saying that the gnome's making it sound more dangerous than it is.
Yeah, to sound cool.
Yeah,
I reckon
maybe she wants to sound smart.
I imagine maybe the gnomes fling themselves further because they're lighter. So
interesting. Like you guys can only get across that 30-foot gap, whereas gnomes can
maybe the gnome goes to the next village.
Yeah, kilometers.
That's how they get around.
So one thing to Raven steps up. She says, one thing to keep in mind is that these scouts are going to be bad for us no matter what. I think that these scouts should be taken out. We don't want them looking at what we're doing, what we're preparing to do as a town. I think that first step, these scouts are taken out. We can let Cudgel go right now via the river, and maybe it'll take longer for her to get to the mercenaries, maybe not. But the scouts standing up on that cliff and watching us make preparations is a bad sign.
Okay.
So yes,
Yeah,
you could
I
do
agree.
that however you'd like. You could both sneak out with Cudgel and then like sneak your way back throughout the interior and come up out of the forest behind them. You could scale the walls. You could fling yourselves across on this contraption. I won't tell you how to do your job, but
I already know how to do my job.
It's difficult for me that I feel like the player, like the D&D player in me wants to know fling, but the RPing character.
is there a law for the Knights of Solamnia that like nobody tosses a knight kind of thing?
It doesn't feel very knightly to get flung into battle. But for I don't think you get this opportunity very often in your life. So maybe the thrill seeking side of Zandrian, like he does like to kick some ass, so he probably likes thrill seeking somewhat, I guess.
I mean, you might be able to land a hammer on one of these
Yeah.
unright people's
Yeah.
heads.
Flying 6
point.
12 hammer.
I will say mechanically, if we're talking straight mechanics here, I'll let you in a peek behind the screen. If you pull off this Gnomeflinger, you get to do an automatic surprise round. You don't have to worry about stealth checks, nothing. You will get to take a full round of combat before those two people get to act. So before there were 4, if you're like watching these sessions sequentially, we'll say that 2 left with the scout that came to the river gate and delivered the message. Mainly this is to balance it for having two players.
Once those guards heard that Val was taking a prolonged nap,
yes.
They decided that the threat level was less severe, and 2 of them left.
Yeah, you see Val's just kind of like, you know what? I'm actually just gonna head, and like gets up and walks out. So,
All right,
what's the plan?
it's decided, isn't it? I'm fleeing myself. Zam, if you want to scale this 30-foot cliff, then if you can just wait until you see me coming and leap out, that would be fine. But otherwise, feel free
I think a moment ago the gnome told me that flinging 2 people at one time would be absolutely fine. So I will come too.
Cool.
Okay, you see, like, she had previously started to look a little bit disappointed by the fact that you weren't going to fling yourself across. But as the conversation kind of like snuck around and then eventually landed on it, she's getting more and more excited. And she just kind of like pushes her chair back and stands up, which doesn't do much to affect her height. And she's like, okay, so are we going now? I can have the calibrations done a couple minutes.
Okay, well, don't rush the calibrations.
Where are we right now? We're in the
You're in the brass
crab. Okay. 1 ale, please.
On the house, and you Raven kind of goes behind the bar, pours you an ale, a little bit of liquid courage.
Down in 1. Can I roll for chugging?
Please, con check.
16.
16. Yeah, that's a respectable. It's probably like 4 or 5 gulps. It's not like open your esophagus and pour it down, but it's pretty respectable.
Good.
You see Becklin, who's like, very knightly and very to the book, is just kind of like looking between the two of you, just like, oh, I did not see who was gonna end up this way, but yes, I'm rooting for you. I'll be here helping get preparations set, and if you absolutely need help, you know what? I will be close by. I'll be watching from the base of the river gate, and if you need any help, I will get myself up there and help.
Aren't we
Okay.
launching
Be
like off
careful,
the
it's
top
a
of...
30-foot cliff.
I was going to ask, aren't we like launching off the top of Beckman's house?
Yes, but you know, Becklin isn't like totally battle ready. Like she's not somebody who's like, I'm just gonna go hop into battle. She's retired at this point, so she's not like.
Oh, I understand that. I just meant because you said she's going to go stand by the river gate. I was like, you could. We're going to be on your roof. You could just come up.
Oh, get flung across after, you mean?
Mm.
No, I'm not suggesting Becklin come into the battle at all. I was just remarking that.
Well, I want to be at the bottom of the cliff, so if things go wrong, I can hand over hand scale this cliff and be there to help you out.
Sure, okay.
I feel like you might be better off on the Gnomeflinger. How tall is Thornwall Keep?
Thornwall Keep, we'll call it 100 feet tall. Is that a reasonable size for things?
Is there any? So is there like falling damage involved with our flinging?
So, I'm glad you asked that. So this is all happening as you guys are en route to the Thornwall Keep. You know,
in
it's
like
you.
an RP way, I've asked the gnome about damage from the Gnomeflinger.
So yeah, you guys are walking as a group with Becklin, Than, Darrett. I always forget his name. Is it Darrett or Derek? And then I think I said Than. And you guys are just approaching Thornwall Keep, and she just like stops and is just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I would have just let you climb up on the Gnomeflinger without these. What are they called? Without these nary crashes." And you see that she kind of like pulls you off to the side as you guys are getting towards Thornwall Keep into this like shed that is just like jam packed full of inventions, and she takes out two of these backpack looking things, and she's like, "Put this on, and when you fall, like when you reach the apex of your fling." The parachute in this will deploy, and you won't take any falling damage.
Oh wow!
And will I still surprise my enemies?
Yes, yeah. Like you'll still be falling quite quickly. It's just you're not going to fall quickly enough to really get injured.
Sounds good. Yeah, this just occurred to me how good the Gnomeflinger would be if you had it's like featherfall or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I'm curious about something.
Yes.
And this is the diversion because I'm going to get flung. But we're on top of a cliff on Thornwall Keep that's 30 foot high. We're 100 feet on top of the Thornwall Keep.
Sure.
So it's 100 foot down to the people, and they are about 30 foot away.
Okay. Is this going to be geometry? Because I'm not really good at math.
Well, I was using a jump calculator to check my jump. Apparently I can jump 15 feet horizontally.
Yeah.
With my strength score. That's level. Like, surely if I was still going forwards and falling 100 feet, I could potentially make it in a jump alone.
If you want to jump, you can. And we'll roll a strength check.
I feel like you're missing out on the opportunity that you've been craving by jumping.
No, I'm good. I'm firing myself. I was just running it through.
I genuinely don't know how that would end up happening. I'm assuming it would just be kind of some insane strength check that you would have to make, and would likely result in your death.
You remember, it was Charles who used to just be able to like jump everywhere.
Yeah, he was like a dwarf that could jump like 35 feet. Okay, so you guys have kind of like, gone through Thornwall Keep. Um, you're approaching you've come up this like kind of spiral staircase that ends in a trap door. And Than just kind of like motions to be quiet, opens up the trap door, and you guys kind of get out and stay low, stay behind the parapets. And this Gnomeflinger is all prepped and ready to go. It's already like cranked back. And she kind of like fiddles with these knobs, spins some wheels, and then kind of like takes out a piece of paper, looks at it, and it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, that should work. Okay, yeah, so we should be good here. And she motions at the canvas area for you to climb on.
Great. Is there anything we hang on to, or do we just kind of lie
Yeah,
flat?
you are just being flung.
Cool. Right. I actually feel kind of nervous. I will get it.
I'm gonna draw my sword and kind of hold it ready, but like across my chest.
The G-force of getting released makes you like slit your own throat.
What's the
Somewhere safe.
What's the mechanics of the parachute? Is it like a parachute that we wear on our back over our shoulders? Like
Yeah, it's like a backpack that you
Okay. What did you call it?
nary crashes.
Nary crashes.
Mary crashes.
Oh no, it's called a nary crash, and then
nary
plural
crash.
is nary crashes.
All right. Well, my yeah. So yeah, if my nary crash is on and it's pretty easy to deploy, I'd do the same thing. I would be kind of like, I'd be on the canvas, but like shield in one hand, hammer in the other. I'm just like ready to launch.
Do you want to like you can like cast spells or something if you want to go into the encounter with a shield of faith or something?
Oh, I'm gonna I'll oh no, I'm out of spell slots. I won't do
Yeah,
anything.
I don't think you get spell slots till 3rd level.
Right. I'm in the same boat. I'm out of spell slots until we long rest. So yeah, let's just launch.
Okay. So she kind of like, she's crouched down. She's like, okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh wait, ka-chunk! And you guys just get the G-force pushes you back into the canvas, and then as it reaches its apex, you are launched across this gap, and you have this stomach dropping moment in the air where you see all of Vogler to your right, you see the Dragon Army knights in front of you. They haven't even seen you at this point. You're approaching fast. Your drop is starting to the apex of your trip has started. You're starting to fall, and then you feel a mini explosion on your back. Poof. And you're dragged back a little bit as the parachute deploys, and as you reach within 20 feet of the ground, everybody roll me d20s.
That's a natural 20.
Nice. I got a 13.
You got a 13. Okay, so you descend quite quickly, but not quickly enough to break any bones. And tell me about your surprise round. You guys both get to make an attack.
Okay. So initiative comes after the surprise.
Sure. We don't want to like ruin all this fun gnome flinging for the sake of initiative.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't have a plan. If I can have a moment, Russ, if you have something in mind right away.
Yeah, I'm as I'm floating down, I'm just gonna raise my sword and just try to just cut down across someone if I'm landing close enough.
Yeah. We'll say you're landing close enough. Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
I just thought about how cool it would have been to throw a javelin from like 20 feet
Yeah.
up, so I'm gonna stick. Let's stick to what I was doing. Well, that was rubbish. 8 to
8.
hit.
So yeah, you.
Do I have... Wait.
Oh.
Wait. Squire of Solomnia.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage.
That's what it gets me, right? I can't remember what it was. I just remember it saved me last time.
Roll with advantage and then plus D8 on your damage roll.
It's true.
Okay, that's a 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Okay, and then a plus D8 to my damage.
Yep.
Holy shit. All right, I'll roll the other one first. Five plus 8.
Damn, 13. Okay, so yeah, you're coming in just like a little bit off, but then your training kicks in and you take a breath and you manage to land the blow on this completely unsuspecting Dragon Army soldier. And now Zun.
Cool. So yeah, I come flying in. My natural 20 on the flight check or the landing check means that I like stick the landing perfectly.
Of course.
Land like directly 4.5 feet in front of the person that Lance didn't attack. And yeah, and as I come down, I'm just gonna come down with like a roar. Like he doesn't hear or see us coming because it's a surprise.
Yeah.
So just kind of out the sky, like when I'm about like I don't know, it's about 5 feet away from where I land, he just hears as he looks up and sees
if Game of Thrones was anything, that is the right way to surprise someone.
Yeah,
roaring at them before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make a big roar as I fly in on a parachute. It's hammer time. So yeah, coming with a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Of course it does. There's a 8 hammer damage.
Okay. So then go ahead and roll me initiative, you guys. You have successfully been gnome flung across this expanse and struck your blows. It would have been very lame if both of you guys missed.
Yeah.
17.
Ooh, 9.
Huh. I think you have my dice.
Okay. So Lance, you're going first. The one that you have struck, kind of just like, stumbles back with a sword slash, deep into his collarbone. You see blood starting to well up. He's not looking great.
Yeah, I'm going to just like I've calmed down. I've sort of assumed my position with my shield and my sword, and I'm just going to just go for a stab.
Just
like I'm going
drive
to
forward.
Run him through.
Make me a attack roll.
That is a 13.
That's gonna miss.
Oh. I don't think I can do anything else, so I will not.
So the soldier just gets his wits about him, is able to get his shield up and blocks your second strike, and then he's going to take 2 attacks at you. So first one is a 12 plus 4 is 16.
Nope.
Nope.
Not a chance.
Yeah, you guys in your fucking plate armor. And then a 10 plus 4 is 14. So both misses. So yeah, you guys have engaged in a duel. Zun, you're up next.
Good. I will. Seeing as I'm spent from a magical perspective, I'll fly another hammer blow at him for a 19 this time.
Hits.
And we will. I should probably remember to use my squire next time. It was 7. That's 7 damage.
Cool.
Total.
So yeah, another crushing blow. This guy gets his shield up, but you're able to boof, just like bash through it. He's definitely on his back foot now, and he's looking quite disoriented. But he's going to take 2 strikes at you. 14 and a 7, so both are going to miss. Yeah, just blocking it with your hammer, blocking it with your shield. Back up to Lance.
Oh wow, that's quick. I'm gonna go for another because he knocks my sword away, and I'm gonna come sort of across at him.
Cool.
22.
Ooh, that did it. He wasn't expecting the cross strike. What's the damage on that? 6.
That's a 6 damage.
So you catch him up high with his sword down low and score another strike right into the shoulder blade. You see, shoulder kind of drops down that was holding the shield. He manages to just get it back up, but he's looking like he's on his last legs here. He's going to make 2 attacks at you, an 18 and a 15.
Okay, the 18 hits.
Okay, so that is going to be 9 slashing damage as he strikes in underneath your plate mail as you're still stretched up, and as his sword cuts into you, you feel a searing heat, and you also take 2 points of fire damage. Zun.
Cool. Yeah, I think I just, after kind of blocking did a shield block, did a hammer block, and then kind of similar to the lance after my hammer block, I come back in with a backhand swipe.
Nice.
With the hammer. God, I was strong then.
God, get me the breastplate stretcher.
I'm killing it tonight. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
9 hammer damage.
Okay, so this guy who's kind of like, he's striking wildly at you after, getting 2 pretty heavy blows to the head. You're able to drive them away, and then, your finishing strike is just backhand right across the face. You turn his face inside out.
Cool. So like the guy in, I think the last episode, or maybe the session before, his face is gone, so his last breath is taken out of his asshole.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that. So Lance, you see one of your charges drops, but you've taken quite the hit, and your guy is still looking quite ferocious.
Yeah, I definitely have stumbled somewhat hurt. But being the heroic young knight that I am, I will soldier on and swing my sword at him again for a 18 to hit.
That hits.
Which does a glorious 4 damage.
That is, he had 3 HP. So you slashed up top. He came in low, gets a cut under, in the space between your plate where the like stomach part and the legs meet. And he's still kind of down low, and you just turn your sword up and get him in the. Yeah, he gets you right in the dick. No, I was thinking on the side. Yeah, dick damage. You're dead. You turn
where
your
my stomach and my legs be.
you get your sword behind him and finish him off. He drops like a sack of potatoes. Both of these guys are done. You kind of glance around. There's no other scouts or anything that have watched that go
Kick their bodies down the cliff quickly so they're not.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so you quickly, thinking fast, you kind of roll their bodies off the cliff. All that's left of your fight up here is some scuffles and footmarks, and you're able to quickly cover any blood splatters with dirt.
Did we look down and see kind of the village folk of Vogler just like way.
Yeah, like you look down and you do see that like Derek and Becklin are standing there. Derek kind of has his bow drawn and gives you like the ollie nod. And Becklin's just standing there, like looks really relaxed. Was just like, these guys have it so hard that I don't even need to worry about this.
I'm like holding my side as blood comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got it.
he nicked an artery.
Easy.
So Becklin walks over, kind of like throws a bundle of rope up to you. You're easily able to like tie it around a tree and scale down. She says, that was quite well fought.
Thank you. Has the doctor been evacuated yet?
Well, the town doesn't have much of a doctor, but here I can help fix you up. So you guys both follow Becklin and Derek to the village circle. And here you can see that like the mayor's kind of like, people have started to filter and they're like, what are we going to do about the army? And, just regular peasant moaning and whining about that kind of stuff. So you have pulled up with Becklin and Derek. Raven is kind of talking to some of the village elders, and she comes back, sees that the job appears to have been done, and is like, okay, Cudgel has left on her boat, and she's going to the mercenaries. What do you think we should do? You're the military trained ones. We're just simple village folk. What should we do?
Go ahead. Sorry, Sandrian.
Oh, I was just going to say, I heard them say they wouldn't be here for at least 8 hours, so I was going to try and get some rest.
Yeah, we'll say that any preparations you make for this can count as part of a long rest, and then you can go into the night being long rested.
Yeah. I was going to ask, is there a bard in town?
A bard?
Yes.
Unfortunately, not being a small town, it's quite the we have some people that can play instruments, but no.
Is there any like boy or anything that can sing? There's one thing I've learned from a siege on a town with lots of innocents inside is that at some point somebody needs to sing a song as we all prepare our weapons and get ready for the.
But only if you really messily eat tomatoes and chicken. Yes, we could find you a boy, Sir Knight, as long as you help us prepare the village.
Yeah. So let me recap the plan with everyone. Are we trying to evacuate anyone who wishes to evacuate?
Yes, I think that what we do is we should get as many people as we can that are completely non-combatants out of the village, and that will leave us less to evacuate if in fact the army gets to the village.
And are we safe on assuming that they will attack through the main gates down to High Hill? Or at least that will be the route into town.
That is the best route into town. As far as we understand, this is Becklin stepping up. As far as we understand, and we've sent boats both ways up the river, they have no water capacity. Maybe they're coming here to get access to more boats or something. We don't know. But if they're going to be attacking, they're going to be coming down from that path that leads to Hyde Hill.
Becklin, you're not going to like this next suggestion, but is there any way to bring the keep down if we were to either structurally impair it or use some explosives or the gnomes tinkering?
I guess if the village has been lost, we shouldn't let them access whatever supplies we have in there. So
Well, I was thinking about bringing it down. It the keep stands 100 feet over the road.
Yes, so you're hoping to bring it down across the river gate and shut off their access.
Yes, once they are upon it.
Yes. Well, as we are preparing for the worst, I will talk to Than.
I was also
Okay.
wondering if Zundrium would know, are in this world, like, do we know, like, are Gnomeflingers the only way people are using these contraptions, or do like catapults and trebuchets exist?
Yeah, there are definitely siege weapons, and I think
Okay.
like you would think that this is kind of a version of the Gnomeflinger or a version of the catapult that's been like overly complicated by the gnomes to serve weird niche purposes.
But I mean, would anyone have yet considered the Gnomeflinger as a good defensive weapon for, like, if we put like a bunch of burning oil balls in it, or just a bunch of rocks, or whatever, and like if an army's approaching in columns and stuff, like flinging shit at them from like 100 feet up from like a big old catapult is gonna, says Sundrium in his normal voice.
um, yes, I mean this can certainly be used for war, and we've actually used it to scare off raiders who are encroaching on our gates. Um, I don't know if these plans necessarily mesh. Like we wouldn't want to have somebody up there flinging boulders and then bring the keep down.
Well, I was thinking that more along, like, because it sounds like Lance is thinking that we bring it down last resort when they're upon the gate. There's a bunch of bad guys stacked down in that ravine, and we make it fall into it. I'm thinking, as an army is, hundreds of strides away from the gate.
So we make sure that people are whoever was using the gnome flinger is clear before we bring down the keep.
Yeah, or the gnome seems to not really care about danger too much, so perhaps he can be the flinger.
We could tie like a zip line to it or something like that. Another thought is that if we gave the impression that we'd surrendered and were able to bet what's her name? Greta?
Cudgel? Who
Grundle.
Cudgel.
Cudgel.
Greta
Grundle is off getting the mercenaries, and they're going to be coming in, presumably, from the rear.
Well, he went by she went by ship, so perhaps she'll return.
Okay.
So, and you see Becklin speaks up and she says, based on the conversation that Cudgel and I had, we will position the mercenaries between the in front of the village and try to drive off the dragon army there. We think that if they meet enough resistance, that they will turn around and not find that our village is worth it.
Listen, I have an idea.
Okay.
What if, I mean, we don't have to do this idea, but what if we wait until we somehow get a message to Cudgel or speak to Cudgel when they return and send them off to hide. We leave the gates open. At the point that the army is upon us through this narrow pass, we bring down the keep, blocking them from that side. Cudgel's army hits them from the rear, and then we have the high ground on them on two sides of this cliff face from the hill that we could pelt them with stuff or charge down and trap them.
Oh, so you want to trap them here
in the pass?
In the pass.
Yeah.
Where their numbers will count for nothing.
I guess all of this is assuming that that none of them go up onto like. I mean, we've already had a few guys go up onto the cliff edge side of things. So
Could be a few, but I mean, not their whole army.
yeah,
I think we can handle a little bit of
I
that.
think if like gates open, they probably just come in down the path. They'll probably send
Yeah.
scouts, see the town emptied and the gates open. I'm starting to like this plan.
So
yeah, I feel like we could trap them in the past, massacre them.
So just to summarize, we evacuate whoever needs to be evacuated. We bring the mercenaries in and we hide them somewhere out of sight, but up towards High Hill. When the army comes marching in, so to say, we bring down the keep, block them in this narrow passage. I will say that we'll only be able to block like half or so of the army. Like if they bring their full troop to this village, that pass, like the mercenaries can still cut them off from the rear, but we won't have the high ground on them. Like, you know, that pass can fit 100, 200 of them. And then they'll kind of be spread out and pushed in via the mercenaries on the back.
Still shit them up, though.
We still could. That might just impact them enough that they would organize a retreat and leave this village alone. That's some nefarious planning. I didn't know that Knights of Solamnia were so resourceful.
Trained in the art of warfare, that's for sure.
Yeah, you have to use what you got. If you don't have numbers, then you've got to use your environment.
As a character note, like, did we know from an earlier session what class Beckland is?
Beckland would be a paladin.
Okay.
Okay, so in terms of enacting your plan, like Beckland kind of like looks at you very impressed. Raven is just a nervous wreck, and she's like, "Okay, so in terms of evacuating the townsfolk, we don't have enough boats for the. We have roughly 400 residents. What do you suggest? Like, we can't. If we try to migrate people out via land, they won't be mobile enough. They could get picked off by the armies. They could be picked off by other roving bands of these creatures.
We not just sail them downriver to the next town?
Well, the next town is Calaman, and it's quite a far sail. But we just don't have. We only have enough vessels to transport about 200 of these residents.
Let's. I mean, there's a few fair ways we could do this. We could send all the children, and then anyone who wishes not to fight. Maybe we'd be left with 200 fighting women and men.
Becklin kind of pulls you aside and is like, the fighting number was drastically reduced by the mercenary attack. You know, a lot of the men and even the older boys were part of that, and most are injured now.
Okay. What about we could either evacuate all the children or by ballot, although that might take a little while to plan, and then hide everyone else in the cellars of the Brass Crab or in the mayor's home, or
and then if
like
the plan doesn't work and the Dragon Army breaks through, or they just expect it to wait here.
It's just going to have to work. I mean, do you have any other suggestions?
I'm afraid I don't. My mind went to putting people in basements as well. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. I
feel like I've just watched too many TV and movie sieges where there's a boy singing, there's children in the basement,
Yeah.
There's a cute interaction with a child. I'd like to look for some food and hopefully talk to a small child at some point who's going to tell me if it's going to be okay because they'll protect me.
All right.
Um,
Okay. So yeah, I think that's probably the plan then. Try and have a try and hide people away as best as possible and hope we're successful.
so I will say that you can make me either a survival, persuasion, or investigation check to help
Who can?
influence your decisions on planning to get people out.
Do we have both?
I'll probably go with survival, I guess.
What were the options?
Survival,
Perception,
persuasion, investigation.
persuasion. All right, I'm going to persuasion. Oh, oh.
I only
That
got
was the roller coaster of emotions. As that dice tumbled around slowly. I got a 19.
19 and Zundru
11.
11. So Lance, as you look around at the people and you're like, are we really gonna have to like split these parents up from these children and send these children just on boats down river? You see that there are boats in need of simple repairs, boats collecting dust in villagers' sheds, even boats serving as decorations in homes, and you think that you'll be able to cobble together, and there might even be like logs that are like down by the beach that you think you'd be able to, or the village people would be able to strap together to create rafts for enough, like whoever wants to leave to be able to leave.
Okay.
So as you're kind of going around, you see that you'll have the means of evacuation. You come back and tell Raven, who now has like pretty much the entire village gathered in this village circle, and to paint the scene, colorful Kingfisher festival decorations still cover the village circle and the festival stage. Unlike the day before, the people collect in the village are somber, muttering in worried tones as Mayor Raven takes the stage. The mayor doesn't mince words. A dangerous army is headed for Vogler. The ironclad regiment and other defenders of the town will do what they can to make sure that Vogler stays safe, but we must be ready to flee. And following the mayor's report, the locals stand in stunned silence. Then their questions come in a wave of shouting anger and fear. Well, why can't we just let the army in? They probably won't kill us. We're just innocent villagers. Like, do we have to leave? I can't leave everything I have behind. I have a home here. So people are just clamoring right now.
Can I, as I hear the discontent in the crowd, can I quietly walk away and go find one of the bodies of the people we were fighting against? Assuming I'd put it somewhere nearby.
Yeah, we'll say that that doesn't take you long to get one of these bodies and bring it back.
Whatever high place the mayor is standing on, I'm going to just walk in and kind of dump the body down in front of them.
Make me an intimidation check.
$17.
17. Crowd goes silent.
This is who you think you can make peace with. And I unfurl its wings from its back.
So, I will say that this is an actual person. It's not a draconic being.
Oh, what?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, man.
But
we'll
say that to help with this. You pull up the cape, and it's like this red cape with a black symbol on it, and the crowd looks at it wide-eyed and pale, because everybody knows that that's the sign of ultimate evil, and it's the symbol of Takesis.
Oh, This is the symbol of Takesis.
And you can see everyone's just like, oh shit, like these aren't like, this isn't like a border squabble between Calaman and some other region. Like this is the most evil god has recruited a zealot army to come and overtake their lands. So they immediately calm down, and Raven's just like, we need to repair the boats that are down in the harbor. We need to amalgamate our supplies, and we need to start evacuating everyone who does not want to stay and fight. And you can see that people are, muttering to each other, and she says, "There's no time to waste. They said that they would be here at nightfall, so we don't have long to prepare." And with that, the crowd's still just like milling about, but as more and more people head off with a purpose now, the crowd sort of disperses, and everybody's going into their homes and putting together packs of essentials they need and bringing out boats, and you guys are able to help with this evacuation while still getting in your long rest. So what are you guys helping with during this time? You guys could be helping like rig the Thornwall Keep. You could be helping whatever you want to do.
I'd like to sort of just distribute weapons and give people words of encouragement.
So
to the men and women.
We'll say out of the 500 residents, 50 came to, or 50 were part of the. We'll say 75 were part of the reenactment. Pretty much anybody that was in the reenactment is good to fight, and you can. And about 35 are in like fighting condition. And from what you've heard, the Ironclad Regiment has about 200 soldiers. So you're 235 going up against around 1,000.
Okay. I guess my contribution to preparations will just be to make sure that I'm gonna part of what I do would be to wander up to the keep, check in on the gnome and his her progress towards like rigging up to the tower. So I kind of arrive and see her up there, and I'm just like, oh, how's it going?
You see she's like just down on the ground. She has like this like thin fibrous wire running between these like barrels, and that are kind of like lining the back, or I guess the front half, the half that's facing the river keep. And she's like setting them up perfectly just so that when it all detonates, it'll fall correctly. She says, "Oh, it's a sad day. I have a lot of inventions here, and a lot of my knowledge was stored at Thornwall Keep, and it's tough to let it go, but it also brings happiness. Now I'll get to go make a new lab and make new inventions, and I guess you just got to look at the bright side of these things."
I have a few moments while we make our preparations. Do you perhaps have a favorite invention from inside the keep that I could fetch for you?
You see, she looks up at the Gnomeflinger, and it's just like, that's my pride and joy up there. All the smaller stuff. All the smaller stuff, the blueprints and trinkets I can bring with me. And you see she like pats like this like overstuffed bag that just clanks and rattles as she moves it.
Well, how about those barrels of magic exploding powder? Do you have any more of that kicking around?
Well, all I can spare is what's going to be able to bring down this keep. Although, you know what? And you see she takes like a little satchel, and she scoops out a handful and ties a leather cord around it and hands it to you. And she's like, hopefully this will help at some point. Keep it away from open flames.
Right.
And we'll say that you just put grenade in your inventory, and we'll resolve it later. Grenade!
Cool. Okay. So she says to me in the the darkest night, this will light your way or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah. Elendil, the light of our brightest star.
oh, granddad is somehow what I wrote for Grenade.
Granddad. You're just like scrolling through your inventory, just
On
like,
granddad.
yeah, I throw my granddad out and he
Can
explodes.
it be a wondrous item, gnome guard grenade? Seeing as it's so fittingly named.
Read exactly what that does.
This small metallic object is comprised of room-covered parts made of different metals. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. As a bonus action, a creature can turn a special key to arm the grenade. Once armed, the grenade explodes in a matter of seconds. As an action, the wielder can hurl the grenade up to 120 feet. It can have like one of.
Yeah, no. We'll say your grenade will detonate and do 4d6 damage in a 15-foot radius.
Okay, sorry
So,
for using that channel.
Put that into make a custom item and make some notes or something. So you guys are spending your evening getting your long rest in. So make sure you note that you have your long rest. And then.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Also, as part of my long rest, I did want to. I assume this town doesn't have a Kiri Jolith temple or shrine or anything of the like.
So the thing with Kiri Jolith is, and this would have been way back in like the first session that we had and the intro video, which you should go check out on my YouTube channel. Is that the gods have been gone for a very long time, and nobody believes in the gods that you would worship. That nobody believes in Kiri Jolith. I think that even like Lance showed everybody Takesis, and that's more of like a symbol of fear than people being like, oh my god, that god is going to come back. So no, there isn't any shrines to Kiri Jolith, but you can still go say a prayer if you would like.
Yeah, I just find like a private place to go and like kneel, and I put like the handle of my hammer on the ground, and the hammer part of my hammer is up, and I rest my head against my hammer and say well, I guess I rest my horned helmet on my hammer, and I say a prayer to Kiri Jolith. I ask for the strength and courage to overcome the evil enemies that come before me, and if he wants to mega buff my hammer, I'd super appreciate it.
Maybe just a religion check.
So that is an 11.
11. Like you kind of feel it's been a tough day. I think that like this still might be the day that you had the battle of High, like the mercenaries betrayed you on High Hill. So the exhaustion like fades a little bit from your arms, and you can feel the strength return to them, and you know that your god is looking down on you.
Cool. Yeah, well that's good enough for me. I feel ready to do battle.
Okay, so just so, and you're sitting with Becklin and Raven, and Derek just comes in. He's wearing like this cloak, and he pulls his hood down, and he's like, I delivered the message to Cudgel. Her and the Ironclad Regiment will be waiting for the tower to go down before they strike. Becklin nods and looks over at you guys and says, do you have any other preparations you want to make? We have probably like half the villagers are at the wharf ready to go. They've all boarded ships, but they haven't pushed off yet. I think that everybody's waiting to see if in fact they will need to evacuate or not. If this plan is effective, then I imagine that they won't leave. But if things start to break through, then they will push off down the river.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like they should just probably go, but I mean, if they want to risk it, then
I think earlier in the day, perhaps it would be last session as far as we're concerned, I had suggested scouts. I don't know if anyone in the town ever followed up on that, but like, will we get an advanced warning when they're coming?
Yes, we will get an advance warning and make sure everyone's in the correct spots. And you can see like now, looking out the windows of the Brass Crab, that like the sun is starting to slip behind the trees, and that the evening is upon you.
Okay, so I guess there will be like a bell or a horn or something that sounds when like an approaching army is sighted in the distance. So we can maybe we can tell the people waiting at the docks that they can wait until they hear that.
will that ruin the indication that we are in fact allowing them in?
How about there's a bell in the village circle. That's the one that we ring to get everybody to join us for the Kingfisher Festival. Yes. If
and bells mean surrender.
Yeah.
If the
really angry.
If the army starts
hope it doesn't piss them off.
If the army starts to break through our barricade of the Thornwall Keep, then we will have a scout at the bell, and we will ring that, and everybody will evacuate at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it might help our case if, as they're arriving to the empty town, they kind of can see some ships sailing off. They might think, oh, they've really left.
Yeah.
Yes, and just to think of all the possible scenarios, if we are overrun, do your best to make it to the wharf so you can get on one of these ships and get out.
Don't talk that way, Becklin. Or Raven, or whoever you are.
Well, that was Becklin, and she's you see, she like she's dressed up in her Knight of Solamnia armor now, and she puts her helmet on the table and says, "These people need a strong leader to take them through what's coming. This army isn't the only army out there. There will be more, and there's a bigger battle to fight than for this village. And I think that you two will do more for not only this village's the people, but you'll do more beyond that."
Any one of us in particular that you're feeling that way about?
Definitely not you. No. She looks at Derek.
Well, we won't leave until we've seen every person from Vogler onto a boat or a raft made of wood that they found.
We also like find ourselves in this kind of the Stannis conundrum of like we already ran away from the initial ambush in the first session, and now we risk being known as the people who run away if we run away again.
True. Yeah, can't do that. Wouldn't want to get a reputation.
No, be the king who ran.
Yeah. I feel pretty strongly that I'm staying for the fight. Like, I'm making sure everyone gets on their boats and they come first.
I'm staying to kick some ass and win.
She gives you both a wry smile. Make me a insight check. You guys can both roll.
I'm feeling 14 now with insight.
What did you get, Lance?
I got a 14.
Oh, so you both. So you guys both look at each other. Both look at Becklin. Becklin doesn't think you're going to win this fight.
We both got the exact same vibe from.
Yeah, and you know that like you've been around knights, and you know how they react to things, and Becklin is here thinking that that you're going to make a good show, but that it will not be enough to hold the Dragon Army at bay.
It sounds like Beckland is also the subconscious voice of the DM.
I'm just saying that your ex-commander's mentor is looking pretty great. Like she's impressed by your ingenuity, and it'll certainly make a difference. But sometimes it's a numbers game.
Beckland, there's something that our commander and your former student told me. I believe it might be knowledge that you even passed on yourself. Said, if you don't believe, the battle is as good as lost. And I believe, and I think you should believe too, because the commander that you taught, I forgot her name. Mike, give me the name.
Broken Shield.
Her name
Guardian Warden
is Ayana Wardenshield.
Ah, that's close.
Yeah.
Ayana Wardenshield would want you to believe, and would believe in you winning this fight. She spoke so highly of you.
You see her
persuade that she can win.
Roll me a persuasion check.
16.
You see her jaw tightens and she gets more resolute and she says, "We're going to give him a hell of a fight at least."
Oh, that doesn't sound like we're going to win.
Come on,
believe.
So you see that Becklin, is like, all right, picks up her helmet, puts it on her head. You guys walk out the brass crab, and you see that there are throngs of people here that are loading onto boats. You see it's happening very slowly. You figure that these people probably couldn't have all got evacuated in time anyways, but you can see that people are starting to paddle out into the middle of the river. They're holding on to mooring lines and stuff, and babies are crying. But for the most part, it's just dead silent. But you can hear one thing. Bacchus, Lord Bacchus, is saying, "Move! Get out of my way!" And you can see he's pulling his son behind him, carrying this treasure, small looking treasure chest, and there's a couple people dressed in the same livery as him, carrying bags, and he's shoving people out of the way to get onto a boat.
Oh,
is he trying to get his son on a boat, or is he actually? Does it look like he's also trying to get on the boat?
Yeah, both. He's pushing his son onto the boat, and then his son's like, "But father, I want to fight."
I'm gonna mention loudly. Would he be a Lord Bacchus?
Lord Bacchus, yeah. Well, he calls himself Lord Bacchus.
Right. So Zundrium announces loudly in a booming voice, so everyone in the vicinity can hear. Lord Bacchus, I see you are deciding to desert us in our hour of need. What happened to the name and the might of your family being what could protect us?
You see his back straightens as his Bacchus straightens. Mustache quivers as he turns to look at you, and he says, "You decided not to heed my advice and are going to antagonize these dragon armies beyond what my name could recompense, and I do not want to be here and waste my life with the rest of you."
Well, if you recall correctly, I actually encouraged you to ride out, announce your name, and tell them to leave us be based on the strength of your name, by which you ignored and did not do.
I do not need to stand here and take this from the damned knights of Solamnia. Where were you when Istar was crushed beneath this fiery mountain? You had joined...
you.
No, you don't mean to stand there. You mean to flee.
Yes, I do, because my life is worth more than yours. and you can see he like shoves this like person that's like holding the boat and just like looking over at you. They kind of fall back, and him and his son kind of like take off down the river, and he starts to like he's kind of like shouting commands.
I throw my grenade onto them. No, I don't do that. I assume they're sharing a boat with other people.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get their comeuppance one day.
Yeah, well, one day.
Okay, so while this has happened, night has truly fallen, and Becklin like puts a hand on your shoulder, and it's just like, leave him. He's not worth the trouble he's worth. And you guys kind of turn around and head back up to the cliff side. Which side would you like to be on? The one with Thornwall Keep or the one with the forest?
I think it'd be pretty dope charging down the hill as the keep falls behind us.
Cool, I like that.
I wanted to make sure is it still part of the plan to like fling stuff at them as they approach? Oh no, I guess we said we weren't going to do that because we want them to enter the.
It's a shame.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Fan agrees with you.
We are dropping an entire castle on top of them. Right?
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
I'm assuming we're going to kill quite a lot with just that.
So you guys line up. There's probably like 10, 15 guys standing beside you on this cliff. You're kind of like hidden behind.
Where's Derek?
He's with you and Becklin.
Okay. And I tell Derek to stick with us.
He has like some like kind of not rusty but less fine, just like gray armor on. He doesn't have a Knight of Solamnia plate or anything like that.
I'd like to look out for Derek during this.
Cool. And then you can see across the way, just like the dark shapes of the other, 16 or so people that are on the other side, hiding in bushes. Everybody has bows and arrows and stuff. And if you would like to take this time, we'll say that you guys can re-up on like throwing axes and javelins and stuff that you can use to rain down on the soldiers as they funnel into that area. And you see that there's kind of like a rustle in the there's a rustle right down there, but there's a rustle in the trees across the way, and you can see that a hooded figure has come out and is like whispering, and then one of the people over across the way kind of like waves their hands at you guys, which is the signal for Dragon Armies approaching. So, everyone, you can hear like hands tightening on wooden javelins and bows. Everybody's breath, starting to fog in the cooler evening. And then you see a bit of light over the crest before you hear of marching feet heading down towards Vogler. And within a minute or two, you see, this snake-like procession of soldiers heading down towards the river gate.
I'll be mouthing silently, hold.
And then a guy with like missing an eye kind of like fires off an arrow.
I'm assuming we also pre-organized the signal with
yes, yeah.
We're leaving so much of our plan up to a gnome.
I mean, she got the calculations for the Gnomeflinger right, so she has been tested. So you can see that this host is made up of, you can see human-looking figures in the same like black and red plate mail, but then you also see like glinting off scales of the torches that they carry. That there are like probably as many dragon kind of creatures as there are just regular humans.
Has Val woken up yet?
You saw Val leaving on a boat.
Oh, could have done with some ice magic in this fight.
You never know. Like halfway through this battle could be next session by the time she like swims ashore or something.
Yeah, it's just like, no, I decided to come
Yes.
back.
Hey, what's up, guys? We fighting? Yeah.
Okay, so the army has gotten pretty much to the river gate position. Are you blowing it when like the first people cross the threshold of the river gate, or are you trying to like separate the army, or are you like, we don't want anybody getting through to the village?
I think a few stragglers would be okay.
You want to
Like, we
make
definitely
sure
want-
you're crunching as many people, even if like
Yeah,
10
we're
or
not dropping
15
people.
soldiers get past.
Yeah.
Okay, so the soldiers start to funnel in, and you can hear like laughing, like ha 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 ha, cowards left the village, and then you kind of raise your hand to Than, who presses a button. You hear doof, 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 and then the keep crushes like we'll say 20 to 30 people as they cross into the river gate, and we'll say that you guys get surprise rounds on all these people. And for the sake of what's happening, you guys are going to kind of be in your own separate little encounters apart from the main battle. We're not going to have like 1,000 people on this map, but we'll say that
Why not?
certain things are happening directly to you guys.
Yeah, like a regular D&D big battle, like I assume there'll be like events or like things that happen like once per turn and things like that.
And you would be right. Okay, so in terms of this battle, so this is kind of happening up here. Everybody, or you guys, roll me initiative as the keep comes down, and you can hear like a Gah! from back behind you, which is the ironclad militia cutting them off from the other end.
I got an 18, ready to kick some ass.
I got a 19. I'm even more ready to kick some ass.
Shit.
Everybody's so ready to kick some ass. It's awesome.
D&D Beyond finally heard my complaints about the dice.
All right, give this user good dice. He's shitting on our face.
Yeah, and now he has a platform. Okay, so sorry, just getting this encounter set up. So that was an 18 and a 19. Nice. So Lance, you're going first. Essentially, the situation is that there's a pool of bodies in front of you. There's probably like you look left, you look right. There are like 200, 150 people crunched into here, shoulder to shoulder. They're now looking around wildly, looking up the cliff sides as a bunch of militia members poke their heads over and start firing arrows. So what's the plan?
I'm gonna cast a bonus action. I'll Shield of Faith upon myself.
We can say that, like, if you wanted to Shield of Faith yourself previously, totally fine too.
Okay.
So
okay.
don't worry.
I've Shield of Faith to myself in advance.
Yeah.
Then I will. I'm gonna toss a javelin down at them.
Cool.
Okay. So I'm going to use my my Solemnia. What was it called? Squire of Solemnia
Cool.
already.
So roll with advantage.
Yeah, I got an 11 on that one. Oh, not that one. I got a 19. So roll
That hits.
that. Roll a. Oh, come on. Oh, yes. 6 plus 8 equals 14, right?
Nice.
Yes.
So you throw a javelin down at one of these guys as, he's completely surprised by this. They're not even going this round. Gets a javelin. They're up on the cliffs. Zundrium, here we go.
So as someone screams, "They're up on the cliffs," Zundrium is kind of like crouched down, like behind the rise of the edge of the cliff. Someone shouts, "They're up on the cliffs! Surprise, motherfuckers!" Pop down, I shoot my bow.
Your crossbow, right?
Yeah, I shoot my crossbow down at someone who looks like a good target.
Yep. There's plenty of good targets there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't tell who. Like, I can't pick someone to identify. I would just say bad guy number 2.
Bad guy number 86.
So bar, so that's a 14 plus 4, 18 hit.
18 hits.
So it comes in with 9 bow damage. I assume it's piercing damage.
Yep.
Piercing damage. And then I'm also going to use a bonus action at the end of my turn to... I assume these guys are like 40, 50 feet away, down the cliff and then away a bit.
Like they're probably packed in like quite shoulder to shoulder, so they're probably like 30 feet down from you, straight down.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, I'm gonna also use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, nice.
So I don't think it defines what type of weapon.
No,
so,
you get to choose, I think.
Yeah, so like a massive floating warhammer appears, and just like it appears like upright, like handle down, hammer bit at the top, and they just like look up like, what the fuck? And the person I just like shot with my bow, the hammer just like comes down like a gavel on them. It's like,
so go ahead and make that attack roll.
What's my modifier? Okay, so that's 7 gavel damage.
Do you have to roll a spell attack with that? Do you have to make an attack first?
No. Make a melee spell attack. Sorry, I was just looking at the modifier part.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So plus 4. 17
hits.
All right. I guess I get to reroll for damage. 8 gavel damage.
Okay, so this guy's looking pretty bad. It gets an arrow, then gets crushed in the head with a radiant weapon. And you see that they're kind of they're all scrambling to get into position. And we'll say that this is kind of like the end of the surprise round. We're just about to start the beginning of the real round, quote unquote. But what you see, like you guys both notice this, that a couple of the people in their haste start trying to climb up these cliffs here. Like they're pretty steep, but they're climbable. And you can see that like a guy in more of like a commander garb is like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" Pulls him down there and shoves him towards your cliff.
Nice.
Lance, it's back up at you. The guy that you attacked is very bloodied. He has a javelin like sticking out of his chest. Are you gonna keep on?
No, I mean, having identified now someone who appears to be a commander, I'm gonna. They're pretty close, right? No, Lance is gonna draw his sword, and he's gonna yell, "With me!" and charge the commander.
Just to paint the scenario, this entire passage here is filled shoulder to shoulder with enemies. You are on top of a 30-foot cliff, firing stuff down on those enemies.
Yeah. Do I get the impression in the moment that I'm about to draw my sword and yell with me? Do I get the impression that nobody is actually with
No,
me?
nobody would go. Like you would be jumping
Fortunately, no
into
one hears you.
a literal fucking kill zone.
I'm gonna throw my javelin at the commander.
At the commander. Okay, cool. With
Maybe
me. Actually, never mind.
everyone else will proceed to throw their javelins at the commander.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Like throw them with
Assuming
me.
that's what-
Yeah.
With me. Yeah, with me.
Yeah. Cool.
It was a 23.
23 definitely
and
hits.
4 damage. No, 6 damage, sorry.
Cool. Yeah, so he's with me. Arrow, javelin, just everyone's like, wait, what are we doing? Oh, okay.
What kind of bonus action? I need to cut. I'm gonna. What's bless? Bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range.
Be careful of concentration. You're concentrating on Shield of Faith right now.
Oh yes, you're right. Thank you, DM. I will not do that. I'll keep my Shield of Faith.
Yeah, I know you're a newbie spellcaster. That's okay.
I wanted to bless little Derek. I just always forget.
Okay, so then Zundrium.
Cool. I will also switch. Like these guys are so packed in that I imagine that commander is like a fairly short distance from.
Yeah, so the commander is this guy here. I tried to put like a token on him, but it just kind of covers his whole thing. So the red thing is commander.
Oops. Okay. All right. So I would say that I am going to I'm going to switch my focus to him. So I'm going to fire my crossbow at the commander.
Cool.
Oh, that's an 18 plus 4, 22.
Hits.
I'm also gonna War Priest for a second attack, so I'm just gonna roll that attack roll now.
Cool.
Oh, that's a crit. 20.
Oh, baby.
So I will take, I guess, what will be 3 times worth of damage. So I'll do the damage for the first attack roll. So that is 1, 2, 3. So that is a 10 piercing damage for the first one.
Damn, okay.
And then the crit.
Oh, this guy's going down.
The crit is actually 8 damage.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, he's still going down. So yeah, you quickly fire off one crossbow bolt, load in the second one, shoot off the second one. You see he's like stumbling back from the javelin, kind of like tries to stumble back. It's like is still kind of crunched in between all these people. Gets hit with a crossbow bolt, and then one last one in the head, and goes down.
Okay, cool. So Zundrium cackles with delight, and then I, knowing that he's dead, the guy that I was trying to kill last round, my gavel slams.
Okay, cool, right. Well, so you already used your bonus action to attack with War Priest.
Oh shit! I forgot that was a bonus action. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm really having to DM you guys today. Commander is dead, but the message has been passed, and you can see that the focus of what these guys are trying to do now is scramble up the wall and get to the defenders on this side. They seem to be ignoring what's going on this side. And we'll say that they spend their entire turn climbing up. And next turn, the 2 guys that you attacked, plus a couple other guys that will start attacking other defenders of Vogler, will get up. It's not like an overwhelming force by any means. But you hear the sounds of metal hitting metal on the far side of this pass, and you can see figures in scale mail just like flooding out of the trees.
Oh.
So these guys, the guys that you're trying to kill, have spent their entire movement trying to climb this hill, this thing. They're like right up at the top here. I'll say that you guys can attack them with advantage this round to try to drive them off.
Yeah, I was going to say if we do hit them, do they lose their grip? And
yeah, we'll resolve that as it comes. So Lance.
Okay, and would I understand from the metal on metal and the scale mail people on the other side that they had in fact ambushed through the trees?
Yeah, you can hear ambush.
Okay, cool. All right, so at least it's not us.
No.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna. Is he within reach? The guy trying to get up?
Yeah, he's like about to scramble over the lip, but we'll say that technically makes him prone.
Just do like a uphand slash across.
Go ahead and make your attack with advantage.
Okay, well that's lucky because I rolled a 2. 16.
I'll say that he can't have his shield up when he's climbing, so that does in fact hit.
Yes. All right. 9.
9 damage. You slash across this guy, and he's going to have to make an athletics check to stay on the wall. And he rolled a natural 8, but has +2 strength, so he stays on, just like he's hanging on by one thread. You cut him up in the face, and like his he like Tyrion Lannister's, like he has blood pouring down his face. This guy is so close to dead, but is just like one hand on the cliff's edge. Zun, you're up.
Yeah, okay. I will go and finish. I'll finish that guy off. I guess I tuck my little crossbow into my pants and out come.
It shoots you in the dick.
I put the safety on, and then my hammer comes slamming down on the guy whose face has been cut off and is like hanging on by his pinky.
Cool. Yeah, just the pinky. Go ahead and make your attack roll with advantage.
Yeah, actually, I slam it down on his pinky. Oh, that's a 19 to hit.
Hits.
That it does. Okay, give me. Okay, so that's a 6, 8.
This guy's dead. You slam down on his pinky, and then he falls to his death.
Dies of pinky damage.
Yeah, dies from 7 pinky damage.
Okay, cool. And then my spiritual gavel slams down on the guy I've been trying to kill since round 1.
Cool. Go ahead and give that a try.
So that's 17 plus whatever my
hits.
Okay. So that's going to be 8 gavel damage.
Okay. So this guy.
That's still alive.
Yeah, he's just barely alive. He gets bonked in the head one more time by this radiant warhammer and is able to finally come up onto the ledge here, and he's going to engage you, Zundrium. So he's going to run up and take a couple swings at you.
Bring it on, motherfucker.
12 and a 13, so he's going to miss both times. But at the end of the round, that's technically the end of this current round, you see back around the corner a fireball goes off. And
is it Val?
No, she's not level 5 yet. And make me a insight check. Both of you guys.
Well, I just crit again, so it's 24.
You're so insightful.
I got a 7.
Zundrium, you can see after you put that guy down, you see the faces of these draconians, that they're all like excited by the fireball that went off.
Cool. They look up and see my face as I'm examining their face, and they see I'm excited by the people that are dying. That I'm slaying.
Okay, so
They know how they can tell I'm excited.
they are below you, so I guess that would work. All right, so that's back up to the top of the round. You guys can see, so there's one guy that's kind of engaged with you. You can see down the line that maybe 10 or so of the Dragon Army members have managed to get up onto this cliffside. You can see across the way, the militia members were not expecting this, and they're dropping like flies. Becklin is engaged with one, just kind of like stabs into one, pulls her sword out, and like kicks his body off the cliff, and like looks over to you guys with just like a fucking grim look on her face.
Right, I forgot Becklin was over there.
So we're back up to the top of the round. You can see next up some more draconian-looking guys are starting to come up the wall.
Okay. Okay, one of them went the other way. Oh, just multiplied.
Yeah, they're multiplying.
Multiplying. I guess there's a lot of people down there.
Yeah. Oh, there's still probably 100 people that you can see like in that small area, and they're all looking like they're coming up that cliff.
800 people that we can't see.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to throw my javelin at one of the draconian people. I was really tempted to throw it up. I want to throw it across at the ones mounting the other wall, just as a sort of show of solidarity, or
cool. Go ahead.
The battle. So I'm going to do that. Fuck. I'm going to use my last Solemnia.
Cool.
Squire. Oh shit. 10.
10 misses.
Fucking hell. Alright, well, I reached too far. What can I
With
do?
me! Missed your javelin throw.
Oh, I'm going to, on if there's someone over there who looks threatening. Oh, that's concentration. I'm going to command. Because it's not
command is
that's an action.
Yeah, that's an action.
It's an action. Yeah, okay, shit. Oh, that's good. I just missed. I'm just sad about it.
just a nice level 3 whiff, eh?
Yeah.
So, Zun, it's your go. You got a guy up on your face. You got draconians climbing the wall.
Yeah, I'm pretty determined to kill the one guy I've been trying to kill, if he's still hanging out.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm also gonna precise strike this guy for. I've been hitting pretty good, but I wouldn't mind that D8 on my damage roll. Actually, I'll take the advantage because that's 10. Alright, that's more like it. 15.
15's gonna miss.
Ah, motherfucker. Okay, well, it doesn't burn my precise strike though, because it only gets burnt if you hit.
Right, that's very true.
Did I not burn mine then?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, then yeah.
That's such a fucking good feat. That's insane.
Yeah,
you do have your bonus action though, Chris. You can still use your spiritual weapon.
Yeah, right. So yes, that was the plan. Yeah, so spiritual weapon, just like my my strike misses, and this guy's kind of like reeling back to dodge my attack. Just this massive spiritual warhammer just from the back. Well, I hope it comes slamming into it. So that's it's the spell attack modifier,
Yeah.
so 18.
18 hits.
That's 2, 7 hammer damage.
Cool. So this guy, you hear a crunch as the hammer hits him from behind. You kind of like are anticipating this, so you step to the side, and he flies over the cliff into the water behind you. And make me a perception check.
That is a 17.
That is a 17. You can see that Raven is in a boat down there.
Wait, so the guy got hit by a hammer and flew off the cliff.
Flew off the cliff. He's dead. But you see the mayor of the town has pulled up behind you guys in a boat.
Oh, okay.
Is the mayor trying to tell us that we should get on a boat and leave already?
So at the end of your turn, and before the Draconians and stuff go, you see that Becklin, with like a grim look on her face, pushes Derek off the cliff, and he lands in the water, splash, just off the edge of the boat, and then kind of looks up to you guys and is like, "We should get the rest of the people." Get the rest of the villagers out of here. That is our task now.
With what remains of my turn, I say, yes. You should get all the people out of here you can. That is your task now.
Okay, so she, pulls up, sword in hand, as more Draconians start climbing over this wall. So on their turn, they're going to get up here. And
maybe you want to just zoom in the streaming battle map a bit.
What's that? Sorry. Oh, zoom in. Yeah.
The stream of the map.
Zoom. Okay. I don't think that helped very much, but whatever. So
Pretty close.
the it's now back up at your turn. You have two draconian-looking guys bearing down on you, and again, like more creatures have gotten up on this side of the thing, and you can see that your villagers are starting to get quite overrun. And we're back up with Lance.
So where am I seeing the villagers getting overrun?
So the rest of the militia, they're kind of like lined up and down here on the same side as you guys. You can see, every couple seconds that pass, more and more of the Dragon Army soldiers are getting up. And while they were able to handle the first couple, you can see like one guy gets taken down by a Draconian, and they have more bodies to lose than you guys do.
And from what I heard Beckland say, do I understand there's more people still trying to evacuate Vogler?
Yes, yeah. You guys, they've been trying to get people out as fast as possible from the wharf, but you're not sure how many people have managed to make it off or not.
Okay. I'm gonna drop my concentration on Shield of Faith. I'm going to compel duel one of these Draconians, and I go, well, get out of here! Get out of here! And I'm just trying to cover Beckland's route down to help.
Okay, they're going to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
It was a nat 1 on the ground. We'll count it. So he fails his wisdom saving throw, and he is now compelled to duel you.
Compelled. And I'll go straight up, and I'm just going to bolt over there and straight up attack him with my longsword. Oh, natural 20.
There you go.
24 to hit. So, well, for some reason, I can't remember any rules today. I rolled double damage, right?
Yeah, double damage
Or it
dice.
does it for me.
Yeah,
D&D Beyond does it for you.
there you go. So you
Uh,
land a solid
7.
blow on this draconian who snarls at you and continues to, move forward, still relatively unfazed.
okay.
Zundru.
Okay. I am. I am gonna charge over, fighting like shoulder to shoulder with Lance against the two recently ascended draconian figures, and I raise up my warhammer to do a strike, and just before I bring down my hammer in a strike, you see it like glow in like a vibrant brown color, kind of around the edge of the hammer.
Of course.
And yeah, I slammed it down, but instead of a regular melee attack, this is a melee spell attack, inflict wounds.
Oh, cool.
So I'm gonna make a melee spell attack. That's a 17.
Hits.
And then yeah, so it's gonna be 3d10. Don't get to do too many d10s, so I only have one prepared.
Wow. 3 of them.
Yeah. So that is. Come on, give me a 10. All right, so it's going to take 17 necrotic damage.
Damn. Yeah, this guy is dead. So you you smash down on him. You can you channel your radiant energy into a more harmful necrotic energy and suck the life out of this guy.
He sucked his brains out.
Both of you guys make me Constitution saving throws.
Oh, no.
It's never good, is it? 12.
It is if you roll a 19.
Okay, so you both resist the turning to stone effect of this guy.
Well, that's good.
So is that the end of your turn, Zun?
No, I guess my spiritual hammer
Right.
is still flying around. So
Yeah, I think last we said it was up there with you guys.
on the guy that I think I actually killed the other guy, but no worries. My hammer smacks the living guy.
Cool. Make a spell attack.
So 17 again.
Okay. Roll damage.
And that is 8 hammer damage. Damage.
Damage. Okay. So you can see Becklin is starting to stand off against some more of these draconian guys that are coming up. You see she disarms a draconian that's just come over or is like bearing down on one of the villagers and kicks him off the cliff. And as he falls down, she like picks that guy up by the scruff of his neck and is like, go help the rest of this militia, get the villagers out of here, and then like throws him back. He scrambles off and he's starting to collect, though we'll call it like 5 remaining militia members, and they kind of run off down this path. So you, Becklin, and or you two and Becklin are starting to get cornered back into here, as we'll say like.
It was just getting overrun. At
Yeah, like 10 or 12, because a couple of the militia members have abandoned their fights. More draconians are coming up. It's the 3 of you bearing down against 15, 20 of these things.
I do like that because we're all honorable knights. We're all clearly attempting to sacrifice ourselves to save the others right now. like Beckland is desperately trying to die to save us and get us
She's
out
not
of
trying to die. She is doing her best to make sure that the villagers have the most time to
I
head
guess
out of
that's
the
what I
wharf.
mean. It's all honorable. It's all you go save them. I'll protect you. I'll take this fight and everything. And everyone's just like not willing to back down. And I like it.
And I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
Okay, so we're back at the top of initiative.
Yeah, we are back at the top of initiative, and this is the current layout of the battle scene.
Yeah, we can do
Okay.
that.
Whichever's the nearest one, I'm going to compel duel.
We'll say that you've. Oh no, right, because you had already you had killed your compelled dueler guy. So yeah, you can compel duel this guy. So Lance, yeah, your turn.
Make a whiz save.
Right. Whiz save is going to be a 12.
Oh, it meets.
So then the compelled duel fails.
Yeah. It's a shame. So I'm gonna run up to him and swing my longsword at him.
Cool.
That's a 21 to hit.
That's definitely going to hit.
But I am going to activate my
Squire of Solemnia.
Squire of Solemnia, and I'll roll in case I crit. I didn't. So
Shame.
6.
Whoa, D8, and then another D8, 7 plus 2. All right, and 9.
Cool. Well, this one was the one that got hit by or bonked by Zundrian's spiritual weapon, so he's looking very, very hurt, but still just kind of like limping towards you guys. Zundrian.
Cool. I will. Yeah, I kind of just like step forwards with Lance, trying to hold what little ground we have left, and on this guy, I will. I think on this guy, yeah, I will. Aim to precise strike again. See if I hit.
Cool.
This is gonna be a. So I actually I got 14 is my highest of those two, which I don't think hits.
No. Oh no, 14 does hit these guys.
Oh, great. Then I shall do 2d8. Nice. So that is actually with my +2. That is 16.
Wow, 16 damage. Jesus.
Damage.
Damage. So yeah, you fucking sink your blow into this guy.
Yeah. So I like charge over to him and just like thinks I'm coming in with a shield crash, and then my shield just moves and my fucking hammer comes slamming.
I love it.
As he staggers backwards, a massive floating hammer smashes him in the back.
Cool.
Or I hope it does. It does not. It's a 7.
Cool. So yeah, you have to dodge the spiritual hammer as it almost hits you. So that's the end of your guys' turn. So here we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. So
did I like freak these guys out at all with my inflict wounds? Like, do you think many of them saw the brown glow of my hammer?
You would imagine.
Or did I excite them like fireballs?
Yeah, and like you've seen more fireballs going off in the back there. These guys do not appear to be fazed by any shows of magic or faith.
Cool.
So each of you is going to get attacked by 3 of these guys. We'll say that Beckland's like holding off her own assortment of guys, just so that we're not having to like resolve her rolls and everything. So let's resolve these 2 at a time. Lance, that's a 21 and an 18 to hit.
Okay, 21 hit.
And a 19.
I dropped my shield of faith, so 18 hits as well. They all hit. What the hell? What kind of dice are you using right now?
They just rolled 17, 15, and 14. So that's 3 hits, makes 2 short attacks. So that's 3 hits, 2 more, a 13 and an 8 that miss, and then 1 more. That's a 13. So you get hit 3 times. That's 3d6 plus 1. 6, 1, 3. So that is 12 damage.
Total?
Yeah.
For all the hits?
Yeah, for all the hits. Yeah, they're hitting pretty dinkly.
I think we might win.
I thought I was. I thought I was in big trouble there.
Okay, Zun, 2 hits, nat 1.
Oh, I'm going to use my fighting style protection to impose a disadvantage on one of them.
Okay. So we'll wait until 1 hits, and then you can do that.
Remember, I do have Shield of Faith right now.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I'll only do it if I have to.
So 2 miss, a 17. So that's going to be exactly 20 to hit, which I think hits your AC. So would you like to protection on that?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Got some going.
So the disadvantaged roll is a 15. So he would have hit an 18, but that does not pass your Shield of Faith. So both of those miss. And then these 2, a 16 and a 9. So you are able to, for the most part, come out of that unscathed. And you can see that Becklin, she's striking down at these draconians. Bursts of like white radiant light are coincide with the clashes, and through the throngs in front of you, you can see winged creatures leaping off of the cliffs on this side and gliding down into the village. So then, Lance, it's back up to you.
Was there any conversation whilst we were like waiting for these guys to come up where Zum might have told me about stuff that had happened, like his interactions with the gnome?
With the
earlier on, when we were waiting for them to arrive, I had pulled the grenade out of my pack and said, "Check out this sweet grenade I got from."
I tapped him on the shoulder as I'm like getting stabbed. Like, Zom, this might be the time. And
I'll respond while it's still your turn to say, if you just go. It is the battle is lost. We must withdraw at this point to defend the people.
Don't you try and sacrifice yourself on me.
Get out of here, go.
Yeah, am I able to disengage? Is that something I can do?
Yeah, you can take an action to disengage.
I'm going to take an action to Oh, God, I hate it. I don't want to.
You could take 3 attacks of opportunity, and then you can dash.
Yeah, Zom told... I think I look up to Zom. Like, I think Zom is more senior to me. Like, he's been around for longer. And I think I take his word quite seriously. So I think I am going to disengage.
Yeah.
But I'm going to move... I'm going to move back, assuming that everyone else is moving back in like a tactical way.
Yeah.
And ready myself for more. Yeah.
For more fighting. Cool. So that's your disengage. That's your movement. Zum.
Yeah, Zundrium's going to do pretty much the same thing. He'll disengage, move back next to Lance, like back to the cliff, right on the edge, and then I have kind of like sheathed or whatever you would do with a warhammer, and I have like the bag of like gnome dust in my hand, and I like look aggressively at the draconians and like holding the bag up, and I'm like, you know, I'm like I make an aggressive explosive gesture at them, trying to ward them off, basically, like don't come any closer, I'll blow you folks up.
So Becklin would do the same thing. So are you guys backing up to this cliff with intentions of like jumping out over it, or are you backing up to make like a strategic retreat back into the village? What's the plan?
My thinking was this is a boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Becklin kind of like backs up with you guys, looks at that bag confused. You can tell the rest of the Draconians are like, fucking bloodlusted. They smell blood. They see some shinies. They're going to charge at you. I will give you this opportunity to be like, this is our get out of jail free card. Throw the grenade, cause a huge distraction, jump off onto the boat, and then get out from there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right. My understanding of the rules would be that like these. I feel like these guys probably have a movement and an attack in them against us before we can do that.
They certainly do. The other way that we could have went about it is if you just ran back to the cliff, you would have taken 3 attacks, but still had an action to throw the grenade if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, actually I actually forgot about that because I know this sounds very retcon, but on when I was prepping for my last turn, I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm still at good health. I could take those if they even hit me, I can take those opportunity attacks.
It's probably worth it to play it that way.
Let's say that to keep everything as
Chugging
close
along.
as possible.
Okay, so you're going to take 4 opportunity. Yeah, three opportunity attacks. 6, which is a 9, an 11, which is a 14, an 8, which is an 11. I think these guys wouldn't have hit you anyway.
They all just like swing at me as I do like a little like foot roly poly sort of out the way.
Cool, and you're back with Becklin and Lance, and now you can throw that grenade. Okay, so that is 15-foot radius, so that's 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that pretty much gets everybody there. I'm just going to I'm gonna have them roll dexterity saving throws in groups of 2. 6.
I think they all just die, right? Isn't that?
6, that's a fail. 3, that's a fail. 2, that's a fail. I think these guys are dead no matter what. So roll me 46.
Cool. Yeah, I more prefer for like the theater of it is just that it's just like boom, these guys like blow up and fly off the cliff down into the pathway as we're like jumping off the cliff.
That's pretty much exactly what's happening.
So that is 15 grenade damage.
15 grenade damage. So yeah, body parts flying. Body is turning to stone midair. Huge distraction at the very least. Kicks up a ton of dust. The rest of the creatures that aren't like immediately blown apart are like falling down and spluttering. And you guys jump off the cliff and onto the boat. And you look back up, and Becklin holds her sword up, and as the Draconians fall down on her, you see strikes of light give out and start flash up in the dark, and as the boat paddles on down the river, and that's where we're gonna end the session.
Fuck's sake, Declan.
I was like, I wasn't initially planning on it, but I was like, this is too perfect. Like, I'm gonna have to give Becklin the sacrifice.
I feel like Zundrium and Lance are both actually annoyed that Becklin kind of won the the chivalry.
I know it's like a point of contention, like with this group. I feel like there's always like this like honorable, like, no, I'm gonna do it kind of thing. So it's funny. Like, I was fully prepared to play chicken with you guys on that.
Yeah, I felt like it's funny because I was like, oh, I haven't really taken any damage yet. My AC is really high. But like, I'll just stand up here and kill as many people as I can. And then and then once you're at a point where like 3 people are attacking you at once and you only have 24 max hit points.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, one turn can go badly and I'll be dead. So
yeah, and it's also like you're only putting out on average 1 attack per turn, so it's like you'd be lucky to do like a third of these guys' hit points with like per turn. So it's just, and these were the chumps. If you guys somehow managed, like if you were like, I'm gonna throw the grenade and stay, like more deadly enemies were gonna start showing up. But
cool.
As you guys are heading off down the river, you're kind of like, no, god damn it, Backland, no. You can see that, like, as you kind of pass this peninsula, that like there are no other boats in the harbor, and that the even though the Draconians are swarming all over land, you think that all of the villagers got out unscathed.
Cool. No, that was a good session. I wasn't expecting to get through this combat in this session.
Yeah. I mean, things work wonders when there's only 2 players. Things go very quickly. I'm kind of like, okay, so that was Lance's attack. That's Zundrium's attack. Okay, and now we're right back up to the top of the initiative. Like, I feel like this is like, just chugging along.
Yeah, it was good. Nice. Good. And then I got no idea. Like, most of our last few sessions in this campaign, I've had a pretty clear idea of like what comes next. But this is like very much like, end of Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
Just like sailing off, sad.
Yeah.
Group has been split up a bit. Boromir just died.
Yeah. Frodo took his boat across the river and is now walking off.
They took the little ones.
That could be that would be Val is off on her own sailing journey.
And you'll be very pleased to know that you level up to 4th level.
No way.
It feels so recently that I leveled up to 3rd level.
Well, yeah, just after the Battle of High Hill, you guys were 3rd level. So 2 sessions. Yeah, I feel like the first kind of tier moves quickly, but apart from that, very fun session today, guys. I know that we've left you guys in. You've kind of retreated twice now, and I promise that you guys are going to start getting your footholds and really striking back against the Dragon Armies now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just an entire campaign of losing.
I think finding a horse is definitely an important next step, because I feel like you feel less like you're retreating if you just like strategically withdraw on a horse. It feels less like running away when you're on horseback. So
harder to jump onto a boat, though.
Yeah, this is a really well-trained horse.
Okay, well, thank you guys very much for playing. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next week with some more Dungeons & Dragons.
Arcane, bye.